Hey, episode 83 of the Nashville Artist Podcast is now out, featuring guitarist, singer, and songwriter David Isenberg. David is a unique artist who defies genre classifications. While he performs regularly on the honky tonks of Broadway, he doesn't consider himself a traditional country artist. Instead, he sees himself as an innovative, spiritual creative on a sacred quest to kick down invisible doors and bring people into new modes of thinking. David discusses how his faith and diverse musical influences from blues to Weird Al Yankovic inspire his songwriting. He aims to create music that is authentic and emotionally impactful, saying, "There's a place for Morgan Wallen and there's a place for me." David also shares advice for other artists, emphasizing the importance of trusting the creative process and working hard. His wide-ranging inspirations from literary giants like Dostoevsky to contemporary acts like Gorillaz shine through in his music. Enjoy the podcast episode. What have you been up to today?
I got home about midnight last night from my gig, so trying to sleep this morning.
Right.
I haven't eaten anything.
Oh, yeah.
But just taking care of the kids. I woke up, took a little shower, just got ready for this interview.
Nice. How many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids.
That's awesome. What are their names?
Isabel and Isaiah.
Isabel and Isaiah.
Yeah.
Isabel Isenberg, Isaiah Isenberg.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's awesome.
They both have 2 middle names after grandmothers, and
Oh, yeah? What are their middle names?
so it's Isaiah Prescott Kesley Eisenberg,
That's awesome.
and then Isabel Lillian Page.
Wow. That's beautiful names. Do you have 4 names as well?
No.
I have 4 names.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, Jordan Taylor Doyle Swafford.
Awesome.
My dad's name is Doyle, and so I have that name, and then I was named after the Jordan River and Hudson Taylor, the missionary.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Never heard of Hudson Taylor. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what time period he was, but yeah, it was like maybe 100, 200 years ago.
Yeah, so you got 2 middle names, and you showed me your grandmother's book with your family legacy, which is incredible, handwritten, 200 pages or so.
Yeah, I try to show everyone that because you don't really see books made like that anymore.
I wish my family had something. I think one of the saddest parts about American culture, at least my life, is that nobody knows where they came from.
Right.
Nobody knows where they're going.
We're just a bunch of mutts.
Yeah, just like, what's going on here?
I know. It's wild. I still need to read the whole book. I haven't read it all, but it is wild to think about. Like, it took generations and generations of people to make us where we are now.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild. Okay, cool. Well, we'll get started here.
Cool.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Nashville Artist. I'm Jordan, and today David Isenberg is here.
Howdy.
Thank you again for coming over and doing
Man,
this.
thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
Awesome. So where are you from?
I am from Cottontown, Tennessee, which is about 45 minutes north of here. And I've lived a little bit everywhere. I was technically born in Virginia, but my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my parents were all from Cottontown, Portland, Tennessee, and Sumner County, which is where Hendersonville and Gallatin and all those places are.
Okay. Nice.
Spent a little time in Florida and Kentucky and went all over the place in high school.
Okay. Do you have any siblings?
I got 2 brothers.
Nice. Are they older, younger?
Both, older and younger. I'm the middle child.
Oh, you're the middle child. Nice. Are they also into art and music?
My younger brother is. My older brother's more athletic. He was a football quarterback.
Oh, wow.
my younger brother, he takes Japanese pop songs and translates the lyrics into English and records covers. And he's actually got like 120,000 subscribers on YouTube. And
Holy crap.
he's pretty good at what he's doing.
Where are they? Are they here in town?
My brother is in Mount Juliet. My younger brother is in Mount Juliet. And my older brother's in Portland.
What are their names?
Tyler and Jaden.
Tyler and Jaden.
My younger brother, Jaden, his online name is Trickle.
Trickle?
Yeah, Trickle.
Cool.
It's like K-pop converted into English, I guess.
Wow, that's really cool.
It's a whole subculture.
I was about to say.
I never even knew it existed. And it's pretty interesting.
That's awesome. So are your parents into art and music?
My dad plays drums a little, but I would say no, they're not really into art and music. And they don't understand art and music
Oh, yeah.
too well.
Understand as and they don't really listen to it, or they don't understand like it has like a passion or like a...
They don't understand it as a passion, but they're definitely coming around, both of them. I don't talk to my dad as much anymore because he's moved to Florida and he's actually got a new wife and a new daughter, and
I understand.
he's doing his own thing. But my mom, I feel like she has been inspired a little bit by my journey over the past several years and just encouraged. I got in a lot of trouble in high school and kind of had a real hard life, and everybody was probably looking at me thinking, oh man, this guy's heading straight for prison and calamity. But, you know, and especially when I got into music, they were like, oh, well, here we go. But, you know, it's really been a blessing. You know, it's been a blessing from the Lord to me. It's brought a lot of healing and just purpose to my life. And
Kind of shook you.
it woke me up and it saved me, man. Like when I came into art and music, I became a Christian about 19, but I got into art and music very passionately around 18. And retrospectively looking back in life, I've always been into art and music. But about 18, I was in college. Basically went from sleeping on the street and binge drinking and amongst other things to living at a dorm. I was like, I can do anything I want to right now. What am I going to do? So I played guitar 84 hours a week, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for a year. I kicked my longboard around campus, had a guitar in my hand. If I went to class, I had a guitar in my hand. I didn't care because I was probably a little shell-shocked. I had some PTSD that I was unfurling from.
Yeah.
And a little bit disassociated from tradition, society, and things. I was kind of oblivious to the rules of functioning in society and just did my own thing. And here we are.
Nice. 84 hours a week. That's quite the feat.
So I say that because I had a factory job where I was literally working 84 hours a week. It was 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I honestly probably played guitar more than that.
Really?
I mean, I played till my fingers bled, and then I kept playing.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was great.
How long, like when you were 19?
I started about when I was 18 or 19, and now I'm 28. I'm about to be 29, and I still play pretty all the time. I'm always thinking of songs. I've just got a musical heart and mind.
Yeah. That's awesome. What were you into as a little kid?
In kindergarten, I wanted to be a director and an actor. So movies, acting, voice actors, cartoons. I used to say that I didn't even like music, even though I was in high school band playing the trombone. I can't remember how to play anymore, but I used to build like these huge cover forts, and I would bring in like 12-foot ladders and like tack stuff to the ceiling and like put little mini fridges and Nintendo 64 in these secret compartments, just build these incredible forts. And
In the woods?
no, like in my house, like in the bonus room or in the attic. But they were like, they were pretty intrinsic forts, you know. They're pretty incredible, me and my younger brother. Used to always want to make movies, and I did stop motion as a kid a lot, and
It's amazing.
wrote a little bit of poetry and things like that. And I wrote a couple of stories, maybe like 50 pages long, that are lost forever. And I did play guitar and write a few songs. There's some recordings of me as like an 8-year-old singing some song called Honeysuckle that I wrote about the honeysuckles. And I remember walking around envisioning myself like conducting orchestras when I was really young.
Yeah.
Just like in a whirlwind of leaves and such. And it never really dawned on me that it was a serious thing I could do in life, though, until I was older. And a little bit of that had to do with the trouble I was in as a kid in high school, because I got basically kicked out of the house. I ran away 15 times, and I went into state's custody, and they moved me around all these various institutions in the state of Tennessee. So I was separated from the guitar at that point. And I feel like, if I'd have had a traditional high school experience, I would have probably, had friends and maybe been in a band, and things might have went a little differently. But I didn't have a traditional high school experience, and honestly, I think that has served me very well in this day and age, because I don't know. I mean, things are going pretty well. I feel like I have a good working knowledge operating in society as far as making money, taking care of my family, pursuing the creative arts with like vigor and passion and legitimacy. And in high school, because I went to all these different places, they basically, no child left behind. They basically just gave me a bunch of credits for classes I never even took. And I wasn't indoctrinated, so to speak, if we can call it that. But
Indoctrinated?
well, I think there are certain shortcomings in traditional education, and I can't necessarily pinpoint them all, but they're not teaching you how to think creatively. They're not some places are. Like, my wife went to Nashville School of the Arts.
Oh, nice.
And I didn't even know stuff like that existed. I was in a little cotton town, Tennessee. They were not having that stuff around there.
Yeah. What so when you were a little kid, what movies were you inspired by that like made you want to like get into acting and filmmaking?
That's a good question. I hate to say Signs with Mel Gibson, but that was always one of my favorite movies as a child, even though it scared the crap out of me. I still have nightmares about it sometimes. So it's been a couple years, but I used to have nightmares about it all the time. Have you seen that movie?
Oh yeah, I remember seeing it when it came out.
Did it scare the crap out of you?
It was bizarre. Like, I didn't see it in theaters, but I'm sure if I did, it would have scared me more.
Alien leg in the cornfield, dude. Just like scary.
Yeah, and he blends in, jumps on the house.
It's so violent. I guess that movie. It's just like And watching that movie now, I recognize the movie's really metaphorically. It's really like a spiritual allegory, really. And I didn't notice that later. Like in the opening scene, Mel Gibson used to be a priest in that movie, and you'll see there's like an imprint on the wall of where a cross used to be hanging. And they keep alluding to this fact that his wife and his children's mother died. And so he's kind of fallen away from his faith. So the whole thing about the alien invasion is like when death or tragedy ensue upon somebody's life, and it just shakes the foundation of their life. And towards the end of the movie, that cross is back up there, and a big happy family. They defeated the aliens, and things are moving forward.
Yeah, just splash water on them.
That's all it takes, just a little bit of water. Hey, which is probably a little bit of metaphor in that as well.
That's true. A little bit of water, yeah. That's cool. So Signs. Were there some other movies you were like really into, or?
Not that I can. Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh yeah.
Man, I had every single word to Napoleon Dynamite memorized at one point.
Man, that movie was literally dynamite when it came out.
Oh yeah. I bet my cousin a kick in the ass on vacation, family vacation, that I could recite every word to that movie. So we went through it, and I'm doing the thing, and finally we get to a part. He's like, "No, he didn't say that there," and it was just just one little word, and I was like, "Yes, he did." So we fast forwarded it, and sure enough, I was right. And, pow!
Y'all, you were saying it as the movie going on, or you were saying it like without the movie going on?
So I was saying it without the movie going on.
Wow.
And then finally we got to a place like maybe 30 minutes into the movie where he challenged me on a word. He said, "No, he didn't say that word." I said, "All right, let's go." So we fast forward to that part, and I was dead on accurate. So
wow. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say I got to kick Brent Jernigan in the ass.
What's your favorite line in that movie?
Oh man, it's been a while since I thought about that. Let's see. Nothing really sticks out to me. Maybe Uncle Rico. My favorite part in the movie might be when he just lobs that steak across the road and just nails Napoleon right in the face.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Or when Kip gets smacked in the face, that's pretty good.
Right.
Jeez.
The doorbell rings and he's like,
I'll go get it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Right? That's hilarious.
Me and my brother used to act that scene out all the time, and I just smacked the dog shit out of him. Pardon my French. I'm sorry, Jaden. I shouldn't have done it.
That's hilarious. So like, what first got you into? You said movies, like art and music. Did you, like you said, you played guitar younger?
So, yeah, I did play guitar. My mom bought me a guitar, and I was about 15, and I learned the King of the Hill theme song on one string. And then I got in all this trouble and was kind of separate. I started writing songs, and I remember sitting with like a composition book, and I would be tabbing out these little melodies that I wrote. My dad was really into Metallica and Alice in Chains and stuff like that, so Metallica was pretty big musical influence early on, as far as melodies and such. But yeah, it's kind of difficult to explain. I feel like I had probably like signs of potential as a young artist, and nobody really showed me that this is a legitimate thing that people can do. Nobody attempted to foster it, which is okay. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying a lot of kids get into music at a young age, and everybody's all about it, and they're getting them lessons and encouraging them every step of the way. I kind of had the opposite. Very discouraged. It was like like crushed me beneath the foot, sort of. It was hard.
Yeah. What did you start playing? Like, what guitarist did you really like?
Well, Kirk Hammett was a guitarist that I did like when I was a kid. I wanted a Ibanez Geo. I had an Ibanez and I painted it blood splattered. My favorite guitarist now, though, is Jimi Hendrix was a big influence on me in college. I remember listening to him and thinking, okay, this is what I can do. I can do that. And the Grateful Dead, when I first heard China Cat Sunflower at 18, I was like, where has this music been my entire life? What is going on here? I mean, I was captivated. I'd never heard anything like it. I was taken instantly. But Bob Dylan is my biggest musical influence, guitar, songwriting, everything. I love Bob Dylan.
At the time, were these a lot of the artists you were listening to? Like
Bob Dylan?
Like when you first started out, like when you were playing, like when you first started playing guitar, who were you?
I feel like my life didn't really begin till I was about 18.
I guess.
So looking back at childhood, it's hard. There's a lot of, trauma, I guess, back there, and it's hard I don't take a lot from that period in time. I was a monster myself. I mean, I had all sorts of problems, rebelling, getting in fights with my teachers and cussing out my bus drivers and running away. And I was in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So I feel like I wasn't aware until about 18. And then I started hearing Bob Dylan. I didn't know who Bob Dylan was. When I was a kid, the only band I really listened to was a band called Lemon Demon.
Lemon Demon.
Have you ever heard of Lemon Demon?
No, I've never heard of them.
You ever heard the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny?
Maybe.
Old Godzilla was hopping around Tokyo City like a big playground when suddenly Batman burst from the shade, hit Godzilla with a bat grenade. Godzilla got pissed and began to attack. Didn't expect to be blocked by Shaq, who proceeded to open up a can of Shaq Fu. Aaron Carter came out of the blue. You never heard that song?
No, I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, you got to check it out. So they were like a parody band. Parody music was some of the first music I was into. Weird Al Yankovic when I was a kid. I loved Weird Al and Lemon Demon. All that being said, though, Lemon Demon's new stuff, I'm not a fan. Don't put me in that box, y'all. All right.
Nice. Okay, cool. So it was more like 19 when you really got started playing guitar.
Diving into it, yes, sir. Yeah.
When did you start singing?
About the same time. I kind of just started symbiotically. I was originally kind of writing poetry and painting, and then I started playing guitar, singing, playing harmonica, and just doing that. And it just always felt natural, and just started writing songs.
Nice.
Writing songs, and here I am about 200 songs later, and still coming, still doing it.
That's awesome. Who else were some of your, like when you were 19, who else did you look at guitar player wise?
Jerry Garcia, Jimi Hendrix, and Bob Dylan probably been Jack White, with the white stripes. I liked a lot of that hard blues, just screaming stuff, and that's got some musical influence on me as well.
Nice. So why would you say you're drawn to art and music?
It's a good question. I don't know. There's when I first got into music, I was healing from all this pain, and it was just cathartic. It was healing. It was mystical. Something about it just changed me, and I can't. There's nothing else I can do. I can't do anything else. I've tried to do other things. I can't. I mean, this is what I do, and this is what I'm good at, and this is what I'm going to continue to do. And at this point, I've invested so much time and energy and money into making this a reality, this career. And there's really no going back. It would just be devastating for everybody. It'd be devastating for my family, my children, myself. And, people seem to like what I do. I get a lot of fans downtown that are just, I can make grown men cry and young ladies dance. And, I love to do it. I just love to do it.
Amazing. So, like, how about now? How would you say you like develop your artistic skills? Do you have like routines for your creativity and stuff?
Just constantly writing, and I feel like it's a competition against myself. It's not really trying to be better than anybody else. You're trying to be better than yourself, and trying to be as honest as possible. And just depending on the Lord, really, I feel like He enables me to write new music. And you go through these emotional things in life, these experiences and journeys, and it all just comes out naturally. When I write a song, I really kind of discover a song. Most of especially my best songs, are kind of just spontaneously written on the spot. And then I used to tell people, anything worth remembering will be remembered. So I have 200 songs committed to memory. I very rarely do I write anything down. Only times I write lyrics down or charts or anything is when I'm getting it ready for a band and I want a band to play with me or things like that. But everything I do, it comes from deep within, and the lyrics are there. They're waiting on me. I discover them, and the next line, you start saying the first line, and everything just falls into place. It really is a remarkable experience. It's remarkable to experience, and remarkable for the people that hear it as well. I can say that as an audience member of people like Bob Dylan, and also as an artist.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you just like play your guitar and sing along, and that's how you kind of come up with both, or do you mostly like write it out on a guitar and then come up with the
Sometimes they symbiotically occur. Sometimes I'll write the guitar part first, or sometimes I'll have like this deep sort of like philosophical feeling, like a conceptual feeling inside of me, and then I'll sit down at the guitar intentionally to write this song about this, and that's what I'll do. I'm thinking most recently of a song that'll be coming out on the album that we're working on. It's called Morning Ground, Morning with a U. And I was just reading the book of Ecclesiastes, and the vanity of life and death and things like that were on my mind in a very sort of like abstract, conceptual way internally. And I just sat down at the guitar with the intention to write that song, and I did, and it's probably one of the best songs on the album. So I'm excited about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So of all time, who are your favorite artists?
Bob Dylan. That's it. He's the best. There's a lot of other artists I like, but the Gorillaz have been a big influence on me musically and production wise.
I love the Gorillaz.
I know, man, they're fantastic. So I was into them as a kid too. I remember going through their website as a kid. Did you ever get on their website?
Mm.
Probably for the best, because there was a lot of schlongs on there, dude, just like out of nowhere. I know, it's crazy.
Like they put on there, it was like hacked.
Yeah, no, it was like they put them on there. And I remember that as a little kid. But anyway, we'll just brush over that. But yeah, the Gorillaz, man, their percussive approach to music is just phenomenal, and their the way they construct a song, it's just very scientifically, accurate. It's just great.
Nice. What is one of your favorite albums by them?
Demon Days.
Oh yeah.
It's just a fantastic album, start to finish. That's got Feel Good Inc. on it and everything, of course. But I like a lot of their other stuff. Even some of their new stuff is really good. One of the songs off their it's called D-Sides album. It's they got this song called Spitting Out the Demons, and it's just funky. It's just great.
Did you ever get into the Space Monkey dub album they did?
I don't. Does that have to do with their the Broadway play they were putting on?
Well, they remixed. Was it Demon Day? What came after Demon Days? I think whatever that album was.
I can't even
they
remember.
then did a dub remix of it.
Okay.
And it's like reggae and dub.
Oh yeah. I have listened to. See, I've listened to a lot of their stuff. Their discography, I downloaded at one point illegally on
LimeWire
on the Pirate Bay, dude.
Oh, yeah, Pirate Bay.
That was my go-to. I've listened to a little bit of everything of theirs, and the thing about the Gorillaz is they're so weird. Sometimes their music just kind of makes you uncomfortable, and you're like, "Whoa!" It's like being exposed to things on their website. But it's so great though. When they get it right, it's just fantastic. I do love Bob Marley, man. I love Bob Marley. I've been getting into him over the past couple of years a little bit, but that's about as deep as my reggae knowledge goes as far as that. Maybe that's why the Gorillaz reggae stuff never stuck with me.
Nice. So, how did the new album come about? Like, what is it going to be called?
It's probably going to be called Cotton Town.
Cotton Town.
So we've kind of got like a 4-album plan right now. But I met this producer through a mutual friend, and then I saw that he had produced my other friend who I played at Tootsie's with, who's currently on The Voice. I think he just lost his battle round, but he's doing pretty well. His name's Donnie Van Slee. I just met this guy through a couple of mutual contacts, and then we got together. I played him a bunch of songs. He was interested, and we lined up the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame drummer Steve Ferroni to get on the album. And I have, I feel like the Lord's leading my way, and I'm finally coming to the time. I've got 10 years of music, just back catalog, that just need to get out there. Whether it's perfect or not, it needs to get out there. I've got to get it out just so I can move on to the next stuff, because I'm writing new songs all the time. And when I get in the mood, sometimes I'll start 2 or 3 in a day. It's like, just got to start cutting it and getting it out there.
Right.
You've got to. And I've been with a lot of producers. I've produced with this guy named Mitch Dane, who's a Grammy-winning producer in Belle Meade. This guy named James Adam Shelley. He's a multi-platinum producer. He did that song, "This is gonna be the best day of my life."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he helped write that song and start that band. But my problem with the producers in the past is either I wasn't ready, or they didn't really get the vision. They wanted to do their own thing. So now I've got a guy, and I feel like we're just at the same place at the same. Everything's just coming. It's right on mark. We're intersecting points is what I'm getting at with this. We're right on target. So yeah, I'm excited. I got good faith about it, and just moving forward.
Nice. When do you think you'll be releasing that?
Hopefully sometime in July or August.
Okay.
Unless we decide to wait a little longer. That's the plan.
Awesome. So what inspires your creativity?
Life, God, pain, love, mostly God. I'm just trying to be true, God is the source of all goodness and truth, and the creator of everything, including my soul, my life, and just everything. Just trying to honor that and honor him. Be honest. Maybe a little bit of selfishness in there somewhere inspires a little bit of it, I suppose. But I don't know, it just feels good. It feels great. I love to do it. I love to sing. I love to write songs. And, what inspires a bird to fly? I don't know.
Jumping out off the tree line.
That's the catalyst to the flight.
Yeah.
But who teaches him to fly,
Right.
Who taught the birds to fly? Same person that taught me how to write these songs, I suppose. I just love to do it.
That's awesome. So how would you best describe the type of artist you are?
I feel like somewhat of an innovator, a spiritual man kicking down invisible doors and tearing people into new modes of thinking and thought with the beautiful, violent intensity of live birth. I got folk, Americana, psychedelic, blues rock, hard rock, kind of like a screaming punk rock Americana artist. I used to say it was called the Greens, man, because it's not the blues.
The Greens.
Yeah, but I do write a lot of blues music as well. I love the blues. I've been through all of them. Robert Johnson, Blind Willie McTell. Those guys have been pretty big influences on me as well. So I love writing blues music and playing blues, especially electric guitar.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what would you say are your strengths and weaknesses as an artist?
My strengths are just being able to create new music on the spot. I love interacting with crowds, and I'll write songs on the spot about, hey Jordan, your shirt's so blue, I'm writing right now a little song for you, and you're right here on your interview, and people might think it's lame, but hey, it's a song I sang,
Yeah.
just getting out there and just inspiring people. What I really try to do now is just look for those. I see you got the fruits of the spirit here.
Oh yeah.
The fruits of the spirit, man, and just love into people with my talent downtown. Just lift them up, encourage them, inspire them, make them get them excited. Sometimes I get a little rowdy down there and do some crazy stuff. But so my strengths are definitely creativity and entertaining and things like that. And my weaknesses are, rooted in not being able to take a lot of things seriously, like this pop country bullcrap going on. I can't stand it. I'm ashamed of it. But a lot of times that's what people want to hear down there, is like Morgan Wallen and stuff. And I'll admit I'm getting into singing it a little more than I used to, just because I love getting the crowds so happy and excited now. But just kind of warring against that whole machine is what I feel like I don't even feel like I'm in a war with that machine anymore. I'm just doing my own thing, and there's a place for everybody. There's a place for Morgan Wallen. There's a place for me. Am I ever going to be Morgan Wallen, have a bar named after me? Probably not. But I don't want that. I just want to make the best art possible. I want my art to have philosophical and spiritual, edifying material within it, that when little people, like children, listen to it, they can be encouraged and not led down a bad path. And the same for adults, So, yeah, my weaknesses is not being able to comply with the pop country sort of mentality. That kind of hurts me in Nashville a little bit, because I'm not like conforming into that identity, and that's it's like a fraternity. The industry is kind of like a fraternity, and if you can't get in there, you can't get in there. And a lot of times they just want to absorb that which is already assimilated into their identity. And coming against that with something new is tricky and difficult to do. But you know, I don't feel like I'm even intentionally trying to do anything. I'm just trying to write the best songs. And this album I'm working on now, I'm super excited about it because I do have industry people like involved in this, and I've got connections and stuff. And my songs, they're so accessible from pop country fans. They're so accessible, but they're also different. So it's like right there where it needs to be, where it's just a little different, but it's still accessible to people who might not be into Bob Dylan or something, you know.
Nice. So yeah, I guess you're tired of the pop country because it requires you to play that on Broadway.
Well, I just think it's just filthy, vulgar propaganda for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, it's just debaucherous and infidelis. You know, if that's even a word. You know, it's shameful. I would be ashamed, and I am ashamed sometimes when I sing those songs. But I would be ashamed to stand behind a lot of what these people are standing behind.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and what I believe is, you know, we're going to answer to God one day for every passive word that comes out of our mouth.
Yeah.
And I got enough to answer for it. You know, I'm not a perfect person. Like, how many times have I done cussed on this interview? You know, and there's evil inside of all of us. But you know, if you listen to Morgan Wallen and stuff, and you know, I'll even say this, like Billie Eilish. You know, I'm probably going to ruffle a few feathers with this, but I'll say it. All the good girls go to hell. You know, if you look at that song and this video, it's so sinister, it's dark, and it's evil. And you know, parents taking their 16-year-old daughters down to these shows and buying them these albums. I'm shocked by it. I don't know what to say. You know, maybe you should probably cut this part.
Oh no. I mean, what I'm not really familiar with too much pop country. Maybe because I'm on Broadway all the time, but
Well, it's just generally, if you turn on country music radio in Nashville, Tennessee, you're gonna hear, you know, if I'm lucky, hell, I might get laid. It's just about drinking beer, you know, smashing tune, and fucking like, you know, just totally, well, you know, self-indulgent, like not good ways to live life.
yeah.
Not good for society, not good for you. You know, the Bible says that sin has a pleasure for a season. But you know, the results of some of the things that we do take a while to manifest, the consequences of some of our actions. And I feel like generally what the radio, pop country, and popular music are encouraging people to do is stuff that is actually devastating to them long term. And if you notice, you know, in pop country or popular music, there's all these ideas presented to people, and they're not actually living that way. You know, they're living their lives and they got the good things that they hold on to, but then they get into that music and it's telling them to do something completely different. And, you know, I feel like a lot of time that wears on people. You know, you got to be careful what you let in. What you let in, because it'll have an effect on what comes out of you. But,
Yeah. What is since you've played on Broadway a lot, what would you say is like one of the main things you've learned playing down there?
you're not going to change Broadway. Broadway is what Broadway is, you know. And I was telling this to a young artist at Sam Ash the other day. And he's like, "Oh, I got my own thing, and I'm not going to go down there and do all that." It's like, yeah, I understand. You know, you think you can kick the door in and that you're just going to be the most talented person in the world and you're going to change everything, but you're not. Broadway, it's like a hive mind mentality. These bars knows what they're doing down there. These tourists knows what's going on down there, and people want to hear songs they're familiar with. They don't come down there to hear new art. Now you get down there, you play them, David Allen Coe and Jimmy Buffett and Charlie Daniels and Toby Keith and all that. Once you got them in the palm of your hand, then you say, okay, here's my original song, and then you see what hits and what doesn't. You know, then you see it works. So you're not going to change Broadway, but you can definitely use it to your advantage. I've used it to my advantage. I've made incredible amounts of money. I've met celebrities. I've started building fans. I've played 600, 700 shows, 4-hour sets by myself with other people. I've learned thousands of songs that I'd never even heard of before. I find out what country music I like. Country music is powerful, and country music can be beautiful. And that's one of the things. My problem with a lot of modern music is the substance. There's not a lot of edifying substance in there. And I feel like in older country there is edifying substance. There's things you can listen to, people communicating the deepest, complex emotions and struggles of the human condition through music. That is an incredible and a powerful experience. But now all these people, they're chasing these fallacies, really, these ideas that, oh, I'm going to be this pop country star, and there's a path laid out for it by the industry, but they're not doing what art is supposed to do, and that's communicate, something meaningful, something with purpose. And anyway, I don't want to do that. I want to keep purpose and meaning and integrity behind my music.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. How often do you get to play originals on Broadway? Do you just like mix them in? Or?
Oh, all the time. Sometimes I'll go down there and I'll start out with originals, and I'll play originals for an hour straight before I ever do a cover. And I got this little thing I've been doing now. I've been saying, ladies and gentlemen, request lines are out there. Looking for a bite. You know what I'm saying? Like a fishing pole.
Yeah, that's hilarious. People are like, I gotta go.
Yeah, they'll come up, oh, play me some John Prine. And if I've never heard a song, somebody requested Volcano by Jimmy Buffett. It's like, all right, $20 gets the job done. They'll throw you a $20 bill. Listen to the song on the spot. Look at the chords. Play it right then. Learn it right then.
Pull up the lyrics.
Yep, I did that last night. And I learned a new song, Volcano by Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, wow.
I learned an Ed Sheeran song last night I'd never played before. Things like that. I'll play anything for anybody, especially if they throw the $20 in my bucket,
What happens if they throw $100 in the bucket?
Oh, dude, we're playing Freebird, man.
That's the one that everyone's like, if you want Freebird,
$100.
Top dollar.
So have you been down there before?
I mean, like years ago.
So you know about the Freebird racket?
No, not necessarily.
There's 3 songs. Okay, there's Freebird, Dick Down in Dallas is one of the new ones, and The Devil Went Down to Georgia. Those 3 songs, bands tend to sell them for $100.
Wow.
I was playing lead guitar for my friend one time, and he sold The Devil Went Down to Georgia 4 times in one show for $100.
Wow.
So that's how you make money down there. If you don't hustle people for tips down there, you won't make a lot of money.
Right. They're not thinking to pay you unless you tell them that they can.
A lot of the time.
Because they're like, I'm here to drink, and we're thinking the band already gets paid.
Yeah. And you really got to get out there after them. Like, put the money in the bucket. Get it in there. Like, for example, we played Tuesday night, me and my band. We're putting this band together. And this is a great band because what it is it's great friends that have been through highs and lows and failures and wins together. And we're coming together, and we love being together. We love playing music together. And we just get out there and have a blast. So we played really our first show as this 4-piece unit this past Tuesday, man. We played at the Mellow Mushroom. And it was supposed to be about 10 to 1:30 or 2. But, man, that place was packed at 3 a.m. They ran out of pizza, and we had to tell people to leave because we were giving an awesome show. Everybody loved it. Like, everybody was having a great time. But I was not like being cutthroat about the tips. So instead of making $250 or $350 a piece, we made $150 a piece for 4 to 5 hours of live music. And it was hard work at night. Well, it was a blast. It wasn't hard work.
Yeah.
But my buddies, they're a little older than me, and they're like, yeah, man, we gotta get on these tips things though, for real. So
nice. I like how you fight for it. Like you'll get. Because people will be like encouraged if you to do it if like you kind of like be more assertive with it.
And that's something I've had to work on, and something I'm really working on as a professional artist right now is the business.
Right.
Because to me, for so long, I've been like, oh, I'm not doing the business. I'm not worried about the business. I'm just about the art. But part of the art is the business.
Right.
You got to learn how to present this to people, get people inspired, and essentially get people to donate to your cause if they believe in you, and people want to, if they hear songs that are expressing those deep emotions that they can't quite put words to, or things like that, or the heartbreaks they've been through, they're going to want to invest in you.
Yeah. So how long have you been in Nashville now?
So I'm really from the area.
Yeah, so I guess you haven't really
So
lived anywhere else, really? I mean, other than...
I've lived in Florida and Kentucky.
Oh, yeah, you said that.
I never got too far from Nashville, though. And so this is just where God has put me. And, me and my wife and our 2 children, we're living in a house in Goodlettsville. It's 20 minutes from downtown. I can go downtown, make good money, go back home. I'm 20 minutes from my family farm in Cottontown. I can go out there and look at the cows or go to the creek. And it's just such an incredible blessing.
Yeah, you get best of both worlds.
Yeah, and I'm just so fortunate and thankful, because I was a problem child, and I was the person that people looked at and just like, this guy's heading for calamity. And I'm so blessed to be in a position where I can live my dreams, I can love my family, and I can just work on the stuff that I feel like is the most important in life, and that's the stuff going on in here.
Yeah.
And how we're treating people and acting accordingly. Yeah.
Nice. So you just decided to stay here.
I'm just until it's time to do something else. Hopefully this album will start really getting some gears moving, and there could be tour buses and traveling the country or even the world in the near future. And even with me and my buddies in the Outcast Kings, we were playing that show the other night till like 3 in the morning. And I remember feeling like just a bird in the wind and thinking, I want to pack up the car right now and let's head to North Carolina. Let's play another one. Like, I didn't want to stop. I wanted to keep going. But I had to go home and go to sleep and take care of the kids.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. So this might be a little hard for you to answer since you've nicely lived here. But what would you say you've learned living here?
I love Tennessee. Tennessee's my favorite place on earth. I mean, it's just beautiful. Blue skies, cotton fields, tobacco barns, creeks, Southern hospitality. I just love it here, and I'm happy to be a part of Nashville. I feel like I am a part of Nashville because this is my legacy. This is my heritage, and I want to be a part of Nashville. I want to invest in this town, in this city, in this place, in my homeland, because these are hills and streams, and like men laid these roads and built these buildings. But what's going on here? These people here, I love them, and I wanna give back to them and just lift them up and encourage them and make this place beautiful and let the beauty of this place shine. Because it is a beautiful stretch of world right here. Tennessee is just beautiful.
Yeah, I guess more specifically in Nashville.
Well, what have I learned in Nashville?
Yeah.
Thousands of country music songs.
I guess like the main thing you've learned living here.
Would trust the process be too cliche?
No.
Because that's one thing I'm definitely learning. Trust the process. You're not going to change everything overnight, and nothing happens overnight, dude. But I've learned that there's definitely a way to make it as a musical artist in Nashville, Tennessee, if you want to. If you're willing to give a little and take a little, the harder you work, the more everything's going to pay off.
Nice. What would you say is all the ways that you are able to generate income from playing music?
Mainly tips. Back in the day, I've sold a lot of T-shirts and CDs and stuff, and just playing acoustic shows. Solo acoustic shows are the most lucrative business that a musician can be in Nashville. You don't make as much with bands. You might have more potential to book bigger shows with bands, but as a solo acoustic artist is where the money really is. And I'm really starting to lay the foundation for generating income online through music. And those are things I'm going to be getting into here soon. So you really just got to put yourself out there. And I never wanted to pander for people's money, which is why I didn't like running the tip bucket in the past. But now it's like I'm working so hard, and this is what I'm doing. I need people's money if I'm going to keep going. It's got to happen. It's like, I mean, I can deliver the mail, or I can keep writing these songs and do what it takes to. So now at this point, once I get the foundation established, which I'm very close to having, I'm not going to be ashamed to get online and tell people my story and share my music with people and say, this is where I'm coming from. This is where I'm going. I need your help. Donate to my ad campaign here. And lawnmower just hit the side of it. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling okay with the idea of trying to solicit myself as a business and do that sort of the part of the music business, asking for people's money, asking people to donate so I can work on the next album and go on tour and print t-shirts and sell records and things like that. So,
Cool. Do you have a favorite venue to play here?
not yet. I'm going to say I'm loving my gigs at Margaritaville. I'm at Margaritaville on Broadway every Wednesday night at 7:00, and I'm just having a blast out there. I love playing the Mellow Mushroom. It's also a blast. I love playing Tootsie's as well. I don't really play for them anymore just because they have some stipulations and such that I just felt like was better for me as an artist if I kind of branched out and started doing other things. But so nothing in particular, just Margaritaville and Mellow Mushroom at the moment.
Nice. Do you have a favorite venue to see shows at?
The East Room's a good place. I've seen the Medium out there a time or two, and the Cobra. That's always fun. I've played there a time or two. I saw Bob Dylan at the Ryman. That was great. That would be a great place to play.
Yeah. When was that?
2 years ago.
Okay. Do you know if he lives in Nashville?
I think he lives on the tour bus. Man, he's doing a never-ending tour for like the past 30 or 40 years.
Really? I didn't know he's just been on tour this whole time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's taking very little breaks, and he's just running.
Wow.
I'm not sure where his home base is.
Yeah.
Or if he's even got one.
Right. So, do you have a favorite food here or restaurant or
Mexican food, man? Yeah. I was wondering yesterday if Tennessee is probably like the largest per capita consumers of Mexican food, because it seems like everywhere you turn, it's just a Mexican restaurant, and I love them. I love fajitas.
Do you have a favorite one?
Las Maracas out here is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Las Maracas. They call it in my hometown, Portland. It's called Senor Fajitas. Oh, there's a place in Greenbrier, Tennessee, called Jose's, and they have phenomenal food. They're a little more expensive, but the quality of their food is just good.
Nice.
Yep, it's like choice meats and vegetables, and it's worth it.
Great.
There was another place I was going to in Goodlettsville called Pancho Villa.
Yeah.
I used to eat there all the time, but their food started going downhill, and I was telling my wife one day, I was like, something ain't right with this. And then a couple of days later, it was like, breaking news. Pancho Villa scores 61 on the health rating thing. And I was like, oh. So I'm not eating there anymore.
Wow.
I'll stop in for a beer and a basket of chips every now and then, but I don't trust their food anymore.
Dang. So what is some advice you would give to someone who's going to move here and pursue music and art?
If you love to do what you're doing, just keep doing it. Just have faith, trust the process, and go to Tootsie's. Sundays, it's either Saturday or Sunday at 2 p.m. in the back room. They have auditions, and they will give new artists a job. And I love Tootsie's for that, especially. They gave me my start in Nashville. I played hundreds of shows, not knowing anything. And from there I fraternized with Jimmy Fallon and learned thousands of country and Western songs I had never even heard before. So my best practical advice would be to go to Tootsie's and audition for them, and they will probably give you a start. Don't come here proud and arrogant, thinking that you're the best thing that's ever walked across the pedestrian bridge and that you're going to change everything, because that's not going to happen. That's not. I'm not saying it ain't going to happen. Maybe you're the one, but just God gives favor to the humble, and He opposes the proud. So I think just keep an open mind, keep an open heart, and the possibilities are really limitless. And I believe where the Lord guides, the Lord provides. And if it's meant for you to come down here and play music, that He will provide a way for you. And if it's not, you're gonna find that out, and there ain't nothing wrong with going home. And I see a lot of artists down here. You find out a lot about yourself, and it sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it takes years for these things to surface. And a lot of people, maybe 2 years in, they'll get super discouraged, and they'll pack up and they'll go home. And when you get to that point, you're going to have to make that decision. Am I going to quit, or am I going to keep going? And, I've been there, and I'm going. I'm not going to quit. I'm not looking back. There's no looking back at this point at all. And, I'm thankful that this is my home and this is where I'm based. I don't have to, packing up and going home for me. I'm still right here.
Yeah.
So there's no way to, the only way to fail is to quit. That is the only way to fail at anything.
Right. Just to quit.
Yeah.
So reflecting back on when you first started as an artist, what is one of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome, and how did you get through
it? Probably my psychological disposition as an early artist. I had so much PTSD and probably physiological things transpiring because of the numerous amounts of medication I was on as a child. So just healing from all the severe sort of psychological trauma that I had experienced as a child was very difficult and metaphysical. And it's not something you can just choose to do. It takes time. But I feel like God has delivered me from a lot of that and brought me through all that, and that I'm stronger today because of it. And I'm very thankful. And I hope that one day I can go back to some of the boys' homes that I grew up in and inspire some of those children. Because I wonder, if somebody had came to me at a young age when I was going through that stuff and really inspired me, or took an interest and tried to inspire me, it would have made a huge difference in my life.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome. What would you say is your biggest personal growth from last year to this year?
Letting go of the post office has been my biggest personal growth, because the post office was a great job, but basically they wanted me to work 7 days a week, sacrifice Sundays with my family, sacrifice my family. My wife's disabled, man. She can't drive. I got 2 kids. They need to go to doctor's appointments. And I remember when I first quit the post office, because I wound up quitting them a few times, but now I've really quit them. There's no going back, and I'm not going back, and it's fine. It's great. Thank God. And I'm finally happy with it. What kept driving me back to the post office was fear. I was like, oh, World War III's coming. I need that secure job. But with all this COVID and this World War III, one thing I've noticed is that society is still going to function. Society's still here. It don't matter if all these institutions crumble and terrible things happen. You got neighbors, you got family, you got friends, if you're lucky. And that's just the way life is and the world is. We could be dirt poor, but we're going to find a way. We're going to find a way. We're going to help each other, and we're going to make it through. And if you got something to offer, you've got something to offer. And I feel like what I have to offer the world is in music and art, and not in delivering the mail, even though I really enjoyed it. So personal growth this year, letting go of the post office. I'm just supremely confident in the plan that God has for me, and the plans that I'm working on with my producers and my team and my friends. and the opportunities I've got right now. Extremely confident that God will just continue to provide ways and opportunities for me, and that if I work hard and keep clean and keep my head on my shoulders, that just everything's going. It doesn't happen overnight, but something's going to happen, something great, and I'm excited to see what it is.
Awesome. So, how can people support you as an artist?
Right now, probably the best thing to do would be follow me on Instagram or Facebook. I did just release an EP. It's 5 songs. It's called "In the Waiting Room" by David Isenberg. It's 5 demos. I've got 50 or 60 demos on multiple computers at the house. So I chose 5 that I thought were some of the best, and I went ahead and released them. And I'm going to start using those to promote the new album we're working on, because the new album we're working on is just going to be great.
Sweet.
It's going to be very professional, whereas the EP I've released, it's not the greatest. It's good quality music. It's music I've worked really hard on, but it doesn't have the people or the equipment behind it to get it to the caliber that it needs to be. But I believe this new album we're working on, Cotton Town, is just going to be all that and a bag of tricks. And I'm excited.
Nice. Can they find the EP? Where can they find the EP?
Everywhere. Spotify,
Spotify,
SoundCloud, Apple Music.
Okay, awesome. So, how do you consume media? Do you have favorite YouTube videos, or like do you?
It hit and miss. Audiobooks were something I
Audiobooks.
really loved. Especially when I was delivering the mail, I've listened to Dostoevsky and Tolstoy and just American classics. Tons and tons of literature I've been able to enjoy out on the route, listening to audiobooks, and a lot of political history and stuff like that I've been able to listen to. And I play a lot of RuneScape, over the past years. Have you ever heard of RuneScape?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So I'm kind of growing out of it officially, I feel like, but I don't know. Maybe I'll keep going, because I've got creative plans for RuneScape as well. There's a lot of video makers on there, and I hope to make RuneScape music videos with some of my original music and
Wow.
kind of build some community that way.
How do you play that on the computer?
Yeah, it's a computer game, and they've got a mobile app now as well, which is like a childhood dream come true.
Nice. Do you have like any favorite, like what are your favorite books or movies?
Dostoevsky was my favorite author. The brothers Karamazov was just a fantastic story. Dostoevsky has a way of just like creating these characters and putting them in these situations that just present the most incredible questions of all time. He also wrote a book called Crime and Punishment,
Yeah.
which is just a fascinating book. But the Brothers Karamazov was my favorite book, most interesting to listen to. Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy was a nice book to listen to as well. And I'm gonna pull up. There's an app. It's called Libby. You can sign up with your library card, and it'll give you access to the nation's database of audiobooks. And so you can check out books for free. I listen to all these books for free.
Wow.
I loved the Harry Potter series. When I got to listen to those books. Infinite Jest is one I was working on recently.
Oh yeah. That have you listened to David Foster Wallace's speech about life is water? That's really good.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he gave it at like a convocation for like the Stanford class back in the 2000s.
Okay.
But it's really good.
So it's like
it's called This Is Water.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up. Yeah,
it's really good.
He's definitely got something going on. Dude, Charles Bukowski. Now,
Oh yeah.
that guy's hilarious. He wrote a book called Post Office about his experience working at the post office, and it was just had me dying out there. He got a book called Hollywood as well, which was really good. See, I went through like Victor Hugo, Les Mis. Have you ever heard of Les Mis?
Yeah, Les Miserables or whatever.
Yeah. Now he's got the most beautiful poetic language. There were lines in that book that just like brought me to tears. because he does what an artist does. They communicate the deepest, abstract, complicated things going on inside of a human being, and they bring them up to the surface and they present them to you, and it's like, it's just mystical, it's magical, it's miraculous, and Victor Hugo's poetic language in Les Mis was just beautiful, and the transformation of the main character in there was just remarkable. This degenerate criminal that just is totally reformed by an act of kindness from a priest, and who he assaulted and robbed. It's just I feel like it's the story of my life. It's incredible.
Awesome. What about, do you have any favorite movies now?
Not that I can really think of at the
really?
moment. I'm trying to think what I've been through recently, but nothing really comes to mind. I don't watch a whole lot of TV just because I don't have a lot of time. I have a massive VHS collection.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, so VHSs are really cheap and they're easy to get. So don't ever let anybody say, oh, this is a Black Diamond Disney VHS. That's $50. No, it's not. It's 25 cents. Okay? So I've got like 500 or 600 VHSs, all the Disney things and Pokemon and then the adult movies as well.
Yeah.
I've been watching some crime thrillers lately, but nothing I've been too philosophically into as far as movies lately, just because I've been so busy. I've been so busy.
Okay. Well, is there anything you'd like to add that I might not have asked you about?
Not that I can think of, man. I've enjoyed my time with you, and I think we've covered a lot.
Awesome. Well, I have one more question for you.
Yes, sir.
What is something absurd you love or do?
Like peeing in the shower or something? Let me think about that. Is this absurd?
That's amazing.
Well, I'll stick with that one.
Cool. Dude, yeah. Thank you, David, for coming over and doing this.
Yeah, man, my pleasure. Thanks for having me. I love your podcast, and all the artists you've had on here are just incredible. Those painters and sculptors, and I'm excited to be a part of this thing you got going on because I think it's beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.